consider Pam my big sister, even though we haven't met physically yet, face to face. Same thing. We're internet based.
That's right. It's a great way to build those connections, and ICC has been a source of those connections for so many independent artists. We know we found art as an author myself. I found artists and illustrators through ICCCon. We have also found some of our independent filmmakers and other writers, guests for the show. It's been a resource to us, and one that we couldn't function without. So thank you for that, Terrence. And it's great to see the magazine growing so fast. Now, ICC Magazine, and Pam, you can fill in the details, is a quarterly magazine featuring the independent arts community, through articles, through editorials and columns, as well as showcasing comic news, Comic Con coverage, and events. Wow, what doesn't ICC Magazine do, Pam? I mean, you're hitting it all.
We do not carry the independent artists to the forefront of the audience and sit them down and have everybody automatically buy their stuff. But we give them a really good start.
if anybody figures out how to do that, we're all gonna just
We're
be
all set.
we're all set. That's right.
But we do our darndest. We do our darndest to give every independent artist an opportunity to get the work out. We had a really, really good episode with ICC Magazine #2 when we were kind of sticking with Black History Month. We did features on the Black Panther movie. We did articles on Representation Matters. We did some articles on how to do stuff. We did the Girls Want to Make Comics, where we featured a lot of the female artists of ICC, where we were having some issues earlier where some people thought they were properly represented. Well, we went and fixed that.
Awesome.
And so, there's so much going on, and we're barely getting started. Right now, I'm working on the holiday gift guide, which is ICC Magazine #5.
ICC Magazine #5. As we said earlier,
In 1 year, we've gotten this much attention.
that's
Really
fantastic.
started. I mean, Marcus wrote some awesome articles for ICC Magazine as well.
Marcus, talk a little bit about that. Now, you, as an independent creator yourself, you got to go ahead and work with the magazine and put some articles together. What was it like to be able to help feature other artists and our community through the magazine for you?
Well, as it is continually being pointed out, the magazine is such an important platform for independents who are looking to get their voice out there. And what ICC has done for me, I started out because I was new and needing to learn, I needed practice. I was able to participate in the ICC comic books, for example, writing pages there. And at the same time, on the other end of the comic book community, I'm a freelance writer. I write articles for the worldofblackheroes.com website. So I'm keeping up on the other end and both trying to become a creator and learning on both ends just about independent comics. I've had the opportunity to interview a lot of the ICC members for the worldofblackheroes.com website, and just learning what it takes to become and stay in the comics community. ICC has been a large part of that. So when the opportunity presented itself for me to contribute to something that had helped me out so greatly, I jumped on it.
That is fantastic.
And I gotta tell you also, Garrett, that last weekend at Daytona Con, when Marcus he was on like 3 of the panels that we had, and let me tell you, the audience, when they had a question, he's also just like Pam, he's a historian too on comics. He had the audience just, I mean, they were like, wow, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. That guy, he's a walking encyclopedia, so it helps to have people like that, in ICC.
It does, and
Some people complain that we every once in a while we will mention mainstream comics like Marvel and DC and some of the golden age of comics and the silver age of comics, but without them we wouldn't be here. No, would we?
that's exactly right.
Right, and also in addition to that, for ICC Magazine #2, the one that features the Black Panther movie cast on the magazine, we got permission from Marvel to do that. So that's big in my book. That's huge.
That is
I
really
had to make sure that I had all the little quotations in place, but they were all for it.
That's fantastic. You know, I think it is in the independent arts community. I think sometimes we forget that before they were the big two, they were just artists, just like the rest of us.
Simon and Schuster were a bunch of hopefuls too when they
Yeah.
started doing their stories, and you know who they were famous for, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is a community that has always prided itself on progression. You start as an independent creator. You start, scribbling. Whether you're scribbling notes for your first book, or whether you're doodling your first drawings before you get to sequential art. We all start independently and by ourselves and grow into something more. And we don't. I certainly I know that the people in this chat, we don't hold it against the guys that have been successful, and as a fact, we hold them up as a model. We're going there.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So, in that vein, as the independent artist community has grown so much, and there is a lot of confusion out there over, the difference between sort of corporate art today and independent art. What are some tips that you would give the independent artists about their journey and how to embrace that? You know what? We're going to get to that on the other side because I'm getting the signal over here. I've got to take another commercial break. So, guys, we're going to come back. We're going to chat more about the journey of independent creators into mainstream commercial art. And we're going to talk more with our guests, Pam and Terrence. And we've got Marcus on the line now. And all of y'all in the chat room, keep sending your questions, and we'll keep asking them. So, everybody, we'll be right back on the other side of the commercial break. Stay tuned in, stay logged on, and see who we're hanging with next.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your five senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
From author Sherry Rensler comes the Evening Bower series, a prophecy from the lost city of Atlantis, a pairing whose union will change the future. Magical creatures, prophecy, destiny, and love collide in a new kind of romance. It's Sherry Rensler's Evening Bower series,
Nice.
a haunting,
Thank you.
compelling
Thank you so
tale
much.
pulled from humanity's lost history. Begin the adventure with time on Amazon.com today. Forever is only your
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hanging with Web Show's Radio Hours Saturday afternoon special, featuring the creators and editors and writers and independent creators from ICC Magazine and the ICC Independent Creator Connection online. We have been having a good time talking about. By the way, I have to answer this really quick because I can't type at the same time as I'm talking because I'm not that creative. Terrence, no, my mic is not live during the commercial.
Okay.
Neither are yours, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
So saying those, we do want to mention something about our commercials, though, here on the show. With very, very rare exceptions, we do have a handful of commercial sponsors. All of the ads that you're going to hear during the show today come from our independent authors or independent artists who have supported the show and shared, and we have a chance to share their books or comics or magazines or the things that they are passionate about in our commercial breaks. These are all independent artists on their own. So we're very fortunate that they support the show, and we're very glad to be able to support them in their journey. And we're back talking a little bit about that journey right now. With our ICC Independent Creator Connection guests. We have on the line right now, we have Pam Harrison, Marcus Roberts, and Terrence Baker, as well as an independent creator. We have Aaron Pohara. Did I pronounce that right, Aaron?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, Pohara.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And so we are joined by some independent creators on the line. Let's talk a little bit about that journey. Now, Pam, you have seen this, as a publisher for 30 years. You have seen these journeys over and over again. And as some of our independent creators, we talked about earlier, have this kind of a little bit of a resentment for what we see as our corporate artists today. But that journey is the same for all of them. And you're a historian and you know that. So let's talk a little bit about what are some tips that you would give an independent artist that was starting out about becoming the next big thing?
Well, yeah, the point I don't understand is when people hold resentment against certain artists for having their place in the comic industry.
Mm-hmm.
But when Marcus said that he started in what, fourth grade.
Yeah.
Parents started reading comics when he was in grade school. My grandfather gave me my first comic book in 1970, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It was a Supergirl episode, and it blew me away. My grandfather was a fan of the World War II era Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh, yeah.
He couldn't even read or write, but he loved to look at the comics and check out Wonder Woman's adventures, and it blew him away. So by the time 1970 rolled around, he was 70 years old, and he wanted me to pick a comic. He was, like I said, a huge fan of Wonder Woman, but I picked out Supergirl because I liked the story that was on the cover at that point.
Uh-huh.
And I did eventually start picking up the Wonder Woman issues, but you know, like I said, this was a man who couldn't read or write. And the stories influenced him to such a degree that they gave me that passion to write and tell stories and to draw and to illustrate. So, and when I was learning how to draw and illustrate, I used all these other comic books, all these other different artists, Mike Grell, Jack Kirby, Neil Adams. You go to all these other examples to help you to form your first illustrations, your first pages, to teach you how to read and write and draw, to do your comics.
Uh-huh.
Without these forerunners, without Charles Moulton, without Simon and Schuster, without Neil Adams, Mike Grell, Jack Kirby, all of these other forerunners, we would have no basis on which to practice our skills, to practice our storytelling, to make the stories that we want to tell, that we want to create.
Preach, Pam, preach.
Man, I mean,
I gotta throw the name Matt Baker in there too from the Golden Age. He did the Phantom Lady. I just had to say that. Go ahead, Pam.
but yeah, Homer was the first storyteller in history. He started this whole thing, man. We've been telling stories for century after century after century. All these stories resonate with people. These stories tell us who we want to be, how we want to be, what we want our world to look like, and we sit down and we create our little stories, and we sit in our little rooms and our little offices, and we make these stories, and we think no one is ever going to read this crap.
You know what? That is every artist's first day at the keyboard, first day with a pencil. That's every artist's first day. Is, oh my Lord, what have I just created? Is anyone ever gonna want to hear this story or see this story?
But what keeps you doing it?
A love of telling the story, a passion for telling the story. I think. I mean, the human animal, as Pam very rightly pointed out, Homer was the first one to put pen to paper in an epic. But the human being has been telling stories since we could sit around the campfire.
I agree.
Yep, we've been telling stories. Yeah, and cave paint, that's right. We've been telling story. If we could sit around a campfire, then we sat there and we tried to envision what monster was beyond the campfire and what hero could save us from it. And we started telling those stories over and over again. And today we're retelling those stories in a fantastic way. And I think there's a passion built into the human spirit for telling stories.
The line of every story is for one hero to step up and make the world a better place than what it is.
That should be the mission of every human being on Earth, I think, and we're inspired by heroes. Marcus, we're going to go to you real quick in your journey as an artist and a journalist covering independent arts. What would your tip to these young artists coming up be, if you could give them one? What should they do to be that much better to become the next best thing?
Well, I've just had these discussions, one today and one on yesterday. Uh, you have, if you want to do it, do it. You don't have to have 50 characters. You don't have to have a big universe. You don't even have to have a large following.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do it, if this is what you want to do, you take your favorite story or your favorite character and you focus on that and you see it through publication. Uh, I had probably 5 or 6 different scripts already written out, but I sent my favorite in to a publisher and they read it and they said, okay, we like it. Can you expand? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I said, sure. Once I did that, they said, okay, if you get it drawn, we'll publish it. That was 4 years ago.
Outstanding.
I paid for this out of my pocket. I rewrote the script. I was scared initially, but probably the biggest inspiration I got was I was doing research for an article, and I got to the underground period, which is really the precursor of the whole independent comics movement. And in the underground movement, I mean, these were guys who were thumbing their noses and saying, look, I'm going to do what I want to do. If I want to draw a picture with a naked lady, guess what? That is what I'm going to do. If I want to draw a picture of a cow driving a car, smoking a cigarette, that's what I'm going to do. And I am not going to let anyone stop me.
Howard
I don't care what your opinions are. This is what I want to do. And guess what? I'm going to find an audience that's going to enjoy looking at my pictures of cows driving cars, smoking cigarettes. And they found that audience. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do this because somewhere out there, there's someone who wants to read my story. They're looking and waiting for me to write this story. And doggone it, I'm going to do it. So I did it.
From Marcus, the biggest piece of advice, and it is, if you have that fire in your soul, that passion in your heart, you have the desire to be an independent creator or to be a creative professional. Marcus takes his line right from Nike, baby. Just do it.
Yeah, I figure I am 53 years old. I've been reading comic books since single digits, and I have always wanted to do a comic book. And after having a family, after several job careers, after doing some everything else, that has never left me. So when the opportunity presented itself, I grabbed the bull by the horns.
I'm a year older than Marcus, and I'm glad to know I'm not the oldest part around here, dude.
I got you back, Pam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
and
got you back too, Marcus.
that's the other thing, and Pam hit it right on the head. If you are a creative artist, if it's in your soul, if you have that passion, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 20, you can be 12, you can be 2, or you can be 82. You can do this. Just do it and start it out. And we're going to shoot over to Terrence real quick. Terrence, how about you? What are those tips and tricks and that advice that you would give to a young artist who's maybe teetering, thinking about getting started, maybe feeling the passion or the burn, but hasn't quite taken that next step yet? What's your advice, man?
Tell us, little brother.
You know what? I am so glad that you asked me. And and here's what I'm going to
say. Says that to me. Okay, we're going to take our big.
Terrence is our enthusiasm. He is our enthusiasm. He will wax enthusiastic over everything, and that's what is going.
He is definitely the catalyst.
Take it away, brother. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. But listen, here's the thing. Here. Thank you so much. Here's the bottom line. If that guy or gal at a young age has doubt and isn't sure on if they should pursue it or not, which, think about it, I'm that person. If I hadn't taken that chance, I wouldn't have grown up and drawn all these comic books, created ICC, created a wonderful platform for people to join and grow on. I wouldn't have met Pam. I wouldn't have met Marcus. And even you guys, having this interview today is a result of all of that. So if you're not willing to take a chance and say, hey, I want to pursue this, this is something either I'm passionate about or I love, you'll never know the fruits that you can gain from it. I mean, look at what we have today. You know, we got Hanging with the Web Show, interviewing myself, Pam, Marcus, and one of the fantastic, artists in the group. And that's just, we're just touching the ice. There's so much more we can be doing with it. But you have to take a chance, and that's the bottom line. You have to pursue it. Because if you don't, you'll never know what you can achieve.
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Across the board, I want to just review for everybody out there that's listening right now. Number one, respect where you came from. Respect your forebears. Respect the work that got you to where you are. Number two, Marcus says, just do it. Just put yourself out there and do it. If you want to be a writer, you want to be an artist, you want to be a filmmaker, you want to be a musician, you want to be a creative artist, start creating. And number three from Terrence, don't be afraid to risk to get what you want, to get where you're going, and to help your community. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to throw one more out there.
Sure.
Never stop learning. Become a master of your craft. And that will take the rest of your life probably, but every single day learn something new about your craft and about your creative art so that you can master your skill. And if you can do those things, then I think that you will be featured in the ICC magazine one day, and globally distributed. They will see your name and they will see your art and they will come looking for you. That's the goal. That's why the Hanging with Web Show exists. It's why ICAC magazine exists. It's why we do what we do. So take those points on and become great artists. Oh, wait a minute. We have a tip coming in from artist Josh Bauer, AP Art. Another tip: get a good support team, friends, family, and community.
I can't write fast enough.
That's what it's about. That's what ICC is all about. Independent creator connection. It's a community, folks. Josh, thanks for that. That is probably, I thought I was pretty smart, and I knew Pam was really smart. Terrence always makes good points on the show. Marcus is new to the show, but he made a great point. But you know what, Josh? You beat us all, because build a good community. Be a part of it. Be a part of that community. Best advice on that so far.
You'll never walk alone.
That's right. Never walk alone. And you won't. If you're part of this community, the ICC community, you won't walk alone. These guys have been going for a while now. The Hanging with Web Show had an opportunity. It was about 3 years ago, wasn't it, Terrence, I think? And
Yes, sir.
we were very new to sharing independent creators. Man, we thought we were just hot stuff, and we were the new kids on the block. And Terrence invited us in and said, you come in and interview our creative artists and our authors and our comic creators, and you come in and do this with us. And from that show on, our show has grown beyond my wildest early dream. And so we thank Terrence and the whole ICC crew for helping us make our dream come true. And our dream is to help our independent creators make their dreams come true. So,
Absolutely, our pleasure. And everybody is crazy about you guys. They love you guys. You have one of the best pod shows out there. So that was definitely something that was destined to happen.
Well, thank you for helping me happen, guys. We have to take one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about another 15 minutes or so. It may be longer if you guys want to come in the chat room and hang out with us a little bit. It's my show. I can do what I want.
That's
so,
right.
We're going to chat a little bit more on the other side about the ICC journey, what's coming next, and what's coming next for some of our artists, and kind of get some updates, and we're going to give you guys some social media links and all those great things. So stay tuned in and stay logged on.
The journeys don't stop believing, and we'll see you in just a few moments.
That's right. Hey, thank you, Pam. Oh,
Yeah.
She's on it. She runs it better than I do. It's got pleasure.
You're not
Hey,
fired.
Okay. Go ahead, Dina. Go ahead. Pay some bills.
Teaming up with the great folks over at the Hanging with Web Show to create the Just Us Watchtower. This is an in-depth discussion with a rotating panel of superfans, diving deep into the themes, interconnectivity, and overall storyline of Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Black Lightning. So join us every single week on the Krypton Radio Network every single Saturday, 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you in the Watchtower.
Watchtower is online. Grab some altitude and adventure together at Pound the Grape. It's all about an adventure above the crowd. There's always something different happening there, from painting to food pairings to dancing. But one thing's rock solid, people sharing incredible wines from around the world. And if that's not what puts Lift under your wing, try their craft beer. Grab some altitude and adventure at Pound the Grape. Find more at poundthegrape.com. Poundthegrape.com. Pour a glass of adventure.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hanging with Web Show's Radio Hour. We are having our Saturday special with the creators, founders, editors, artists, journalists from ICC Magazine and the Independent Creators Connection. We have our good friend Terrence Baker on the line, the editor-in-chief at ICC Magazine, Pam Harrison on the line, journalist, artist, and creator himself, Marcus H. Roberts on the line, and of course our newest friend who just kind of came on to call in and say hi, Aaron Pohara. Aaron, we're glad you're on the line too. We also have to give a shout out to artist Josh Bauer, who's in the chat right now and been hanging out watching the show.
You know what?
Yeah.
He has his art up at Pound the Grape, whose
He
commercial we
does.
just
We
heard.
just heard a commercial. Josh Bauer has art hanging. Josh Bauer is he's the king of fan art because his art is literally fine art. It's museum, it's gallery art based on all of our favorite properties, all of our favorite comic and pop culture properties, and it is fantastic. So Josh wants to know, guys, how an artist gets in touch with you guys to be featured in the magazine or to get involved with ICC.
Well, all you got to do is go to independentcreatorsconnection.com. We've got a link that says for ICC Magazine. You hit the drop down and it says submit. And you'll contact the editor of ICC Magazine for an interview, and we'll set you up. And we'll ask you some questions, and we'll get some of your artwork, and we'll get you set up in the next issue. You can find us at independentcreatorsconnection.com.
Oh, right. Fantastic. So
I'm going to drop that in the chat.
you're going to drop that in. Oh, good. See, I'm liking this. This is for those of you guys who don't know and who watch the show or listen to the radio hour regularly, for the Hanging with Web Show crew, this is kind of a new paradigm that we're working in. We're live on the radio right now. We are on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, CBS Radio's radio.com. As well as now we're webcasting this to Facebook Live while we record it. So I have got more things going on in this tiny little room than I have ever had going on ever before, and it's all Terrence's fault.
Well, hey, that's a good thing.
Hey, we have to blame someone.
There you go.
Blame me.
Aaron, go ahead and jump in here real quick. Aaron, why don't you tell us a little bit about your project right now and what you're working on, and let us know a little bit about your art.
Sure. I'm actually a writer. This is my first book ever. I actually decided to take a plunge, and I decided to make it a comic book. It's called Book of Laxia. It's basically about different mythologies, different gods, and so you have like Greek, Egyptian, Norse, and they all live on the same kind of realm, separated by families. And I had a ton of people like ask me, why don't I do a superhero book? And the answer that always comes to my head is, number one, there's so many of them. And number two, if you look at it, gods are the original superheroes. So we were talking a little bit about stories and stuff like that. And those are the original stories. Mythology, take Harabata from Indian. You have Greek mythology from Homer and Iliad, and those are the kind of the first superhero comics that you had back then.
If you're interested, go ahead and submit it for me.
Awesome, Pam. That was Pam coming on the line telling you there, buddy, go ahead and submit that over. And there's submission stuff. I think Terrence wrote it in the chat, so you can find submission information.
Yeah, I put the link in there so you can find it.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Awesome. Thank you.
very good at what you do.
Try.
Really good. how did I find? Terrence is how I found a lot of these people. By the way, now not home. These are actually, this is my family. So they were here first. Terrence is how I actually got them to go out in public with me at a con and found out that they had talent. I mean, other than that, I just thought they were really, really cute people to hang out with.
They're
That's
wonderful.
how I met Terrence's wife. I met Terrence's wife before I met him at a con.
That's right, Marcus. And here she is, Marcus. Here she is, Marcus.
And I was like, "Where's your husband?" And she was like, somewhere around here. And I could not track him down for the life of me.
She's actually right here, Marcus. He's here.
Hey, Marcus, I know that day I was like, you miss meeting Marcus. Where have you been? He was like, I was around.
All y'all out there on radio.com or iHeartRadio or on Spreaker right now listening, that was the voice of Deetria Baker, Mrs. Baker herself, who is the
The Pink Hammer.
Yay!
That's right. We all know her from our convention days and as a cosplayer and an amazing cosplayer. And she cosplays one of Terrence's original characters, the Pink Hammer. And she does it phenomenally.
I was gonna
Thank
say,
you.
how cool is that? You know, because Aaron created this comic, and now he gets to see Deetria bring it to life in cosplay.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool. I don't have any creative muscles other than the ability to do the show. But if I created anything and Dina or Sage were to cosplay it, I would just be bowled over.
Yeah. I'm surprised y'all never seized on Pink Hammer time.
Good one.
Wow. She's good. She's good. She's got it. She's got it coming on here, guys. Guys, let's talk a little bit about ICC Magazine and where you guys are headed from here. I know you have the holiday shopping issue coming up, and that'll be issue number 5. What are the big things? What are the big plans for ICC Magazine coming up?
Go ahead, Ben.
Start with you.
Oh my God. The holiday guide, it takes me back to some of my older days with U.S. Cavalry and Jewish Community Center when they did enormous catalogs. But we do have a number of independent artists that actually answered my call and submitted their work, and so we're doing actually like a catalog of different independent comics, and we've got little catalog pages going on. But we've got wow. But after the Kickstarter, it's been chaos. So we had all these ads in, and we've had magnificent Kickstarter backers that have paid for 5 issues of advertising. So I got all those ads in, and we got the catalog going on. Going forward, it's going to be bigger and better because we kind of farted our way along this year. And it's
Everybody out in the independent arts community knows that is everybody's first year is just sort of, trying to make anything happen.
Yeah, but to fart your way along and still explode into the media is kind of phenomenal.
And Pam, don't forget, we had Bill join us too. Bill.
I never forget Bill. Bill never even forget for one moment because I have relied on his advice so many times, and he knows it.
Bill is listening right now too.
I know he's listening.
Right, Bill, we're glad that you're listening.
Listening. Bill and I are kindred spirits. We sit here and we connect, we commiserate, we complain about people that don't take this.
She had connection, commiseration, complaining.
And we plan. We throw it all by Terrence because, in spite of everything, Terrence and I are twins on this project. He's always going to be the founder of ICC, but we've got so much stuff going on in the background, and it to me, as a creator, it seems like this first 4 issues has been kind of a fart along, and yet we've gotten so much attention. Therefore, that's why we know we've got something big here.
Yes.
The second year of ICC Magazine is going to be tremendous.
Absolutely. We thank you very much for letting us be a part of that journey.
It's the opposite way around. You have no idea how it is for you to promote us.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Hanging with the web.
No one who is ICC is what we would get without people like you.
That's right.
Well, exactly.
We love doing what we do, and we love doing it with fantastic creators like you. Speaking of fantastic creators, in the chat room, we want to welcome to the conversation our good friend, independent filmmaker Eddie Craig, who's joined the Facebook Live chat. Eddie, thanks for coming in, man, and thanks for listening to us talk about ICC Magazine and the Hanging with Web show and ICC Independent Creator Connection. We're glad that you're here, man. I haven't had a chance to type to you, so I just wanted to say hi. And Bill McCormick Online, we want to thank for
Chris.
coming in.
Or Bill Sci-Fi.
Bill McSci-Fi.
Yes, Bill
Yeah,
McSci-Fi.
Bill Big Sci-Fi.
Bill makes sci-fi.
We want to thank Aaron Bahara for coming into the room, and Marcus H. Roberts of The Protector coming in the room. We've got about 2 minutes before we have to wind it down for the hour.
Okay.
You know what? I'll put that to a vote. I'm going to ask these guys what they want to do. Y'all want to hang out some more, or you want to put it down for the hour and make them go look for us?
2 minutes is fine because my son is waiting on me, so I can wrap it up.
And we're not gonna make DJ wait because we are under strict orders.
And he says hi to Michael too.
That's right. Cosplay Michael says don't make DJ wait. So we take our orders from on high. So, all right, guys, with the last 2 minutes coming up, we want to thank Pam Harrison for coming on the line, the editor-in-chief at ICC Magazine. We want to thank Marcus H. Roberts of The Protector, who also is a journalist and creator in his own right. We want to thank Aaron Pahara for coming on, Eddie Craig for coming on, Josh Bauer for coming on. We want to thank our great friend at ICC, the Independent Creators Connection, Terrence Baker, for coming on the show today and sharing his success and his advice. And just having a chance to share with everybody out there on the radio his passion for independent creators. Guys, go on over to the Facebook page. All the links will be in the description on the radio show and also here on the Facebook Live when it goes to regular video. All of those links are going to be there. Click them. Go there. Become a part of this community. One of the best things that we ever did on the show is become a part of this community. With that said, some of the other things that we've done on the show, I have to say thank you for. I want to thank our good friends, Jake Estrada, David Graves at Space Coast Comics for always supporting the show. I want to thank Famous Faces and Funnies here in Melbourne, Florida. One of the great comic shops that does help independent artists and invite them in to showcase their work there. We want to thank our great friends at Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida. Our good friends out of St. Louis, Missouri, Something Unique Magazine, who've been sharing the Hanging with Web show since episode 1, and we have no idea why, but they love us and we love them for it. We want to thank our good friends at Embellish Effects in Orlando, Florida. Great cosplay shop, guys. If you need makeup or props or pieces and parts and bits and bobs, as Cosplay Michael calls them.
Cosplay Michael calls that heaven at Embellish FX.
That's what he did. He said he didn't want to leave. I don't know if that was a commentary on
He
his
said
mom
it was
and I.
better than Christmas.
Here. But he hasn't seen the Christmas shopping guide for ICC Magazine.
That's right.
Which is probably going to get me in a lot of trouble. I'm going to have to spend a lot of money now on all these comic projects. So, wow. So, guys, thank you guys so much for being on. We're going to give you each a last word, and then we'll kind of peace out here. So, Pam, we'll start with you. Last words and links and things like that where people can find stuff.
Okay. This year of ICC Magazine has been tremendous, beyond our wildest dreams, and we're just getting started. So we're going to continue in our quest to promote all of our independent comic artists out there. You follow us and back us up, and let's see what the year 2019 holds, because we're going to make history.
Awesome. We're going to go on over to Marcus. Final words, man.
Well, you can Google me at Black Hero Marcus to check out some of the articles I've done. My comic book comes out end of this month through Advent Comics, Unbound Realms. ICC rocks. If you're looking for a good group to learn something from, ICC is where you want to be.
Outstanding. Real quick, we have our artist in resident here, Aaron Pahara. Last words, Aaron. Anything to say?
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much for having me. This was like my first podcast live like this, so thank you for having me and bearing with me dealing with this anxiety.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your creativity with us, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. We're going to shoot over to Terrence Baker. Terrence, last thoughts, man.
From the Baker household, we want to thank everyone who participated in this today. Thank you all so much. Hanging with the Web rocks. We love you guys. Keep up the awesome work, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everybody, as we peace out, we want to thank CBS Radio and Radio.com for their our newest syndication outlet. We want to thank them for sharing the show and these fantastic creators all over the World Wide Web. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to let you go, but we're going to remind you, keep tuning in, keep logging on, and see who we're hanging with next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Thank you. Same to you.
You guys all rock, man. You guys did fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
So much for the opportunity. This was a really, really great time.
Oh,
That's
good.
so
We had a good time, guys. It was all new to us as far as coordinating something like this, so we had a great time. We hope to be able to do it again more. So, thank you. See, Pam asked me when Pam first reached out. She asked a bunch of questions about what we could do today as something special, and of course, as is typical for me, I had none of the answers. And I had to make them up. And I was like, I felt like I was back in school and I was taking a quiz, and I was like, oh crap, I don't know anything about but we'll do it. Yes, we'll do that.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean to do that to you, but you were very professional and didn't let on that you didn't have an idea. So I think.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, when we do our interview show, we've got